talking about the ECOWAS Trade Support Facility. Why we set up that facility was, when I was appointed in 2009, and I came into the bank, I inherited a lot of trade disputes with the Nigerian exporters. We were basically looking at the markets of America, looking at the markets of Europe, and we didn't have the new technology or the clean technology to produce goods that would make us very competitive in these markets. So we were having a lot of problems. The volume of non-oil trade was not increasing at all. You find a situation where our exporters will send goods to Europe, and out of a very friendly excuse, they will not pay us. Meanwhile, we had huge potential to take the sub-region. But Nigerians are very much in love with imports. We needed to create a facility that will act as a sweetener, something that will drive them away from Europe, from America, and come within the sub-region to harness the huge potential that we had. That was how we came up with the ECOWAS Trade Support Facility. One other thing that made us develop that facility was that if they are looking at the leading economy in Africa, they look at South Africa. Because the labor and informal trade, unrecorded trade within South Africa is less than 50%. We are surrounded by a lot of countries. In Kano, we are trading with Niger. If you get to Katsina, if you get to Senegal, if you get to Calabar, if you get to Maiduguri, we have been trading with these countries. There are some Nigerians that have been trading for the past 20 years. They walk across, sell their goods, and get back. If you ask them to show you a piece of paper for what they have been doing for 20 years, they don't have it. That's number one. So we needed to formalize this trade, and most of them are SMEs. The second one is that these people will walk across, sell their goods, put their cash in the pocket, and walk back. We needed to deepen the payment system. We needed to encourage these SMEs to begin to make payment using the internationally accepted method of payment. Because Nigeria has a very big economy. We have untapped natural resources. We have a very appreciable demographic profile, 167 million people. But we are not getting benefits for all this. So we needed to first deepen the payment system, create a platform where in the next 2 years, we want to be able to make our export more competitive. We want to be able to give buyer credit facilities to some countries, because if you get to the markets of all the member states of ECOWAS, the products you find are Nigerian products. That's what you find. But for now, some other countries that offer more attractive terms, they get the business, and Nigerians are left suffering. So we should be able to create a platform now. Given 2014, what we intend to do is begin to give buyer credit. If you have yes, engineer is producing a goods here, and he wants to sell to somebody in Ghana, and that Ghanaian has no money to buy his products. Next, you should be able to give that Ghanaian money to buy his products. That is where we should be. But when we develop this product, we gave some facilities to Nigerians. But the volume of non-oil export within the sub-region was not increasing. And we needed to know why. Because if we just sit down in our office and we give you $500 million and you produce goods and we don't follow you to the marketplace, it's difficult for us to even appreciate whether we're actually executing our mandate of deepening the non-oil. So we have to follow the Nigerian exporters to the market to find out why is it that in spite of our own intervention, the volume of non-oil is not increasing. And we discovered that Nigerians had huge problems on moving goods. And by the time they take their goods from Nigeria to the final destination within the sub-region, the whole margin has been eaten up by what you find on the road. Because we don't have an efficient sea transportation system for people to move their goods. If I give you $500 million, for instance, and you produce your goods that are contained in 20 containers, you have to make about 20 trips. And these 20 trips will eat up whatever thing that owner would have come to you and to the country in terms of foreign exchange generation. An example I keep giving, if you have to move your goods from Lagos, for instance, to Tema Port in Ghana using a truck, with all the multiple checkpoints, with all harassment from security agencies, and lack of improvement in road infrastructure. Because the cargo tonnage has moved from about 4.7 million tons in the last decade to about 13.2, but there has been no improvement in road infrastructure. So if you do that, with all these challenges that I've mentioned along the value chain, you will be able to take your goods to Tema Port in 6 days. But if you have to move your goods from the same Lagos to Tema Port in Ghana using the sea, it will take you about 60 days. Yes, it will take you about 60 days. What it will take a truck, 6 days, it will take you a minimum of 60 days, 2 months. Because we don't have cargo vessels within the sub-region. So they have to take our goods to Europe and then do a transshipment of our goods from Europe to deliver them in Ghana. So under that kind of scenario, we can begin year after year that we are developing, promoting non-war export. If we don't find a solution to it, there's really nothing that we can achieve. Because if you have to make 20 trips, because you have 20 trailers, everything is eaten up. Nothing will come. So when we discover this, we say, look, there are some of these trade barriers that we can overcome. And within the sub-region, the 15% of ECOWAS, Nigeria is a big brother. We have 320 or so million people in the sub-region. We control over 67. The GDP of ECOWAS, we control over 60%. And we say that even the political and financial institutions that are owned by ECOWAS, Nigerian voice must be heard. If you say yes, it's yes. So Nigeria should be the one to make an initial step in seeing how this kind of trade barrier can be overcome. And the only institution that is well placed to do that is the Trade Policy Bank, which is next. So last year we commissioned 2 consultants, Anglophone and Francophone. They went around all the member states of ECOWAS. The only one that they were not able to reach that time was Cote d'Ivoire because they had political turmoil at that time. And knowing fully well that all the member states of ECOWAS are coastal countries that we need to connect. There's no short sea at all. And then we asked them to go to Cameroon, to Douala. Even though Cameroon is not a member of ECOWAS. But if you get to Douala, the only product that those people know is Dangote products. Whether it is cement, whether it is juice, whether it is Indomie, everything here is Dangote product. While they were going through the member state of ECOWAS, they met with the officials of the Federation of West African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And people say this is what we've been waiting for. We've been on the neck of the ECOWAS Commission for the past 5 years to give us a grant so that we can carry out this. But this is the only way we can deepen trade and enhance regional integration. So they said they will collapse their own idea into our own. We went to Cameroon. We have one of the biggest logistic companies within the Central Africa, which is Transmet. They too were trying to buy some ships. And they said, okay, they will collapse it into us. So what we have done now is we are facilitating the setting up of this transnational shipping company that will be private sector operated. We are only facilitating. It is not the government money. But we believe that in our own role as somebody that is in charge of promoting non-oil, even if we cannot give money, we must be seen to be channeling funds, to be channeling facilities to the export sector that can enhance the economy. Now, we have brought in both the West and Central Africa, and we are driving an initiative. We'll be able to set up a special purpose vehicle which we are going to use. The study came up with a funding requirement of $61.5 million US. We said that we use 1.5 to drive the SPV, the special purpose vehicle. That will be the one that will now move into the transnational shipping company. It has been well received. We have made a presentation to the ECOWAS Commission. We have made a presentation to ECOWAS Parliament, where our Deputy Senate President is the Speaker. We have made a presentation to several international organizations. Because as it is in the world now, we have the highest logistic and transportation costs within the sub-region. No other region has that. But all the resources are here. You remember that in 2008, 2009, when we had this global financial crisis, it is only Africa and some part of Asia that stimulated the demand for the world economy to begin to recover. You agree with me that there's no demand in America. There's no demand in Eurozone. Of course, that one is only debts that you can find there now. But we have not been able to take advantage of these huge resources that we have. The time has come when we should be able to do that. And in setting up the shipping line, we are being very careful because we don't want anybody to come at the back door and take over this. We want to be able to be, we Africans, that will drive it. And we have said it so clearly between the West and Central Africa that nothing is coming to divide us. Whether we are speaking French or we are speaking English, we are not going to allow those artificial barriers to divide us and allow people to come in and take advantage of us. We are common rich. And we have to do this as the regional economic blocks. And that is the spirit that Africans demonstrated at the last World Economic Forum in Ethiopia, where all of us came together and said we have a population of 1.2 billion people. And that the next decade we want to be the industrial hub of the world. And what are those challenges that we need to tackle? All of us, we know that yes, we have infrastructural challenges, we have capacity building, we have that, so everything. And then all of us agree that look, we think this population of 1.2 billion, the age between 30 years and below constitute about 70%. These are the champions of tomorrow, these are the consumers of tomorrow. What are we going to do with them? How do we create jobs for them? That has been driven down. So, at the regional economic loss, now we're not just looking at ECOWAS, we're looking at both the West and Central Africa. That was why we came up with this ECOWAS trade support facility. And the region that can benefit most from that facility is the Southeast. This is where you have a lot of SMEs. This is where you have a lot of traders. Most of the products that you find in the markets or the member states of ECOWAS are coming from the Southeast. The kind of shoes, the kind of bags, the later products from this, if you are not somebody that is very vigilant, you won't even appreciate that this thing is not coming from Nigeria. That is why, like Ada was mentioning, we are trying to link the other people with the Kano people. We are trying to finance and the raw materials from Kano, to Abba, so that we can be feeding them. And then create a kind of a shipping line that will make it easy for our people to move. Because what you find happening in Nigeria is massive. But because we don't have a very cost-efficient way of moving our products. So the ECOWAS trade support facility is there. And one other thing that we did is that you mentioned, one of the challenges why people cannot access funds is that they don't come up with a bankable proposal. So one of the things we did was to set up a financial advisory services department. When you come to us to access funds and your proposal does not meet our requirement, we don't ask you to go away. We don't ask you to go away at all. We sit down with you, we restructure your proposal. Even if you cannot access money from us, we know that you can access money in any other financial institution. We will be seen to be executing our mandate as long as you are going to be involved in export. And in Enlightenment, We are not just looking at existing businesses. We are a development finance institution. If you have an idea, you conceive an idea and you believe that this idea is going to be profitable, you bring it. Because we have financed greenfield projects that were not existing at all, and they have grown so big to be listed on the top 100 exporters of CBN today. That is what we are doing. So don't say that because I don't have an existing business. All we need from you is that we must have a registered entity. So the ECOWAS trade support facility is going on. The setting up of that shipping line, it is people like you in the private sector that will drive it. We have appointed MBN Capital as the issuing house. We expect that by the middle of next month, we are going to have an investors forum, which the ECOWAS Commission has graciously accepted, to sponsor. People have already started paying money into that. We have selected about 3 routes. We are having 2 types of ships. One will be both cargo and the people. Our people, we have a culture of traveling with our goods. We don't send our goods and then we come behind. You see that if you are moving your goods from Kano to this place, anywhere they start, a bus stop, you see people peeping, to see that my goods are not picked. So we have recognized that, and what we have done is that we have 3 routes. 2 of them are going to be both people and cargo, so that people sit down there and they load your containers. You are looking at them, so that when you drop, you see them. So that's the kind of model that we have developed. We expect that the first ship should be with us first quarter of next year, and I believe that. And I believe that this region will be the one to take the greatest advantage of that. That's number 1. Number 2, we are talking about the creative and entertainment industry. The people from this region have dominated the Nollywood. The only thing they have done that I need to point out here is that if you look at the films that are produced in local languages, Igbo people is only 1%. Only 1%, even though you have dominated, that industry. And I think you have to do more. You have the Yorubas very far, you have the Hausas very far, but the Igbos is only 1%. So you have to do more. But again, I need to let you know what we are doing in creative entertainment. The creative entertainment forms part of our mandate. It forms part of the export of services. And I give you an example why we have to get so deeply involved in financing entertainment. I was appointed an MD August 2009. The first trip that I made outside the country was to Zambia, where African Export and Import Bank organized a trade finance seminar. The same way we had our own. After the opening ceremony, one lady who was a journalist walked up to me and said, "Where are you from?" And I told her I'm from Nigeria. And then she just bent down and said, "Oga." So I was wondering, I asked her, how do you know that people like me are addressed as Oga back home in Nigeria? She said she's been watching the Nigerian films. And I turned around and told my colleague that worked with me that this is a product that we must export. It's already there. So when we came back, we tried to look at which other institutions in the world. Because where we are now, we must align ourselves with international best practice. That was why even came one of the reasons that we even look at developing the ECOWAS trade support facility. Because when I got in and I met a huge number of trade disputes, I started to look at what is happening in India, what is happening in America, what is happening in China, what is happening in Malaysia. And I discovered that these people segregated their export market into two. They had the traditional market, which was their own regional market, and then the non-traditional market. So anybody that is trading within the sub-region outside ECOWAS or outside Africa